What is Ken Wilber's integral thinking? Integral thinking sees partial truth in all points of view. Instead of saying this view is right and all other views are wrong, integral thinking says that all views have some partial truth to them, although some views have more truth than others. This is hilarious. By what possible means could greater truth be established in a system where no view is actually rejected as false? If there is no falsehood, there can be no truth either. Only irrationalists are attracted to this relativist, subjectivist, love and light idiocy that rejects the absolute, objective truth yet still claims to have truth value. It has no truth value at all. It's a crackpot attack on the laws of logic and reason. As any Christian will tell you, Christianity is 100% false if Jesus Christ is not God. But a follower of integral, while rejecting that Jesus Christ is God, still maintains that Christianity has truth. To anyone else, especially Christians, this is insane. Religions are set up to be 100% true for those that believe in them, and 100% false for those that don't. No Christian believes in Allah, Muhammad and the Quran. Integral, totally missing the entire point of religion, says that everyone is right, but some people are more right than others, meaning that integral types can sanctimoniously and patronizingly pat you on the head and say you're a bit right, but they're much more right. What a joke. What they actually want to say, but can't because they're such pathetic love and light hippies and drug addicts, is that they're right and you're wrong, but they're willing to not entirely dismiss you because, hey, they're integral and they want everyone to be one big happy family. The sheer psychological folly of integral is off the scale. No genuinely religious person on earth is interested in 5% truths. They want 100% truth. The only people to whom integral appeals are those who don't want 100% truth, but want to be more right than others, while denying the existence of absolute, objective truth and thus any possible means of establishing truth criteria. Have these morons never studied Plato? They are simultaneously obnoxious and patronizing. Even as they tell you that you're wrong, for not agreeing with their higher, better truths, they also say that you're not wrong and you too have a piece of the puzzle. Could they be any more insulting? No religious person on earth would sign up to any system that gives them a little clap and tells them they've acquired a set of beliefs that have 1% truth content, according to some scale that can't even define what truth is, hence is meaningless. You might as well say to someone that they have 99% of the lie, and see how that goes down. Why doesn't integral theory say, integral thinking sees the partial lie in all points of view? Instead of saying this view is wrong, it says all views are wrong, although some views are less wrong than others. That is every bit as valid as what integral theory actually does say. Since it has no truth criteria, if it did, it would be able to tell people that their beliefs are false. It has no possible means to say anything at all about the truth. It has no idea what it is, hence is just a bunch of relative, subjective opinions and beliefs. It's sophistry, of exactly the type Plato dismissed thousands of years ago. Why do people just keep making the same mistakes? They never learn. These integral people are cake and eat it types. They simultaneously want to imagine themselves as caring, loving, inclusive, open-minded types willing to listen to everyone and take everyone seriously. That's their self-image, their self-delusion, but, at the same time, they want to say that some truths are better than others. Of course, what they mean by that is that their truths are better than yours. It never occurs to them that their truths are the inferior ones. Even to claim that some truths are better than others is already to acknowledge that there is an absolute truth, because how else could the truth quality of something be assessed without reference to some criterion that is deemed fixed and objective? Without such a standard, everything is just subjective opinion and belief. The claim that some truths are better is, without an absolute standard, just another subjective opinion and belief, with zero authority and plausibility. After all, what is the gauge for better? Ontological mathematics says there are infinite wrong answers to existence, and one right answer. Ontological mathematics strictly relies on the PSR and its corollary Occam's razor for this result. Integral is the exact opposite. It claims that all answers are right, but they're not all equally right. Integral rejects the PSR and Occam's razor, or, rather, it claims that they're right, but only partly right, and other things are much more right, such as non-dualism, bare awareness, cosmic consciousness, or whatever other nonsense these people spout. The trouble for these clowns is that there is no possible rational and logical universe in which the PSR is anything other than 100% right, and the same goes for Occam's razor. So, to be integral is to be an absolute enemy of reason and logic, to believe that things have no sufficient reasons, and to believe that reality is not based on absolute, compulsory simplicity. It is essential to oppose integral relativism and subjectivism wherever you find it. Integral is pure postmodern nonsense that pretends it somehow subsumes and transcends postmodernism, which is exactly the sort of argument postmodernism itself typically makes, the authentic fake, the copy without an original. Postmodernist Jean Baudrillard spoke of the 4 phases of images. 1. The image is the reflection of a basic reality. 2. The image masks and perverts a basic reality. 3. The image masks the absence of a basic reality. 4. The image bears no relation to any reality whatsoever, it is its own pure simulacrum. Integral belongs to stage 4. It is an ideology committed to saying that everyone is a bit right. But there can be no reality, at least none that makes any reference to rationalism and logic, in which people's contradictory opinions and beliefs can all be a bit right. If Christianity is right, Islam is wrong, and vice versa. Of course, integral types reject reason and logic. They claim that reason and logic are themselves just a bit right, meaning that non-reason and illogic are a bit or indeed a lot right, meaning that all claims made by integral types are riddled with unreason and illogic, hence are laughable to any rational and logical people. We shall define postmodern deconstruction as a technique for showing what terms a text privileges and thus what terms it marginalizes. So, ontological mathematics deliberately privileges all terms associated with reason and logic, which is why no rational and logical person can oppose it. The integral ideology, by contrast, privileges all terms that do not tell people that they are wrong, and which instead cultivate and foster the supposed validity of their subjective beliefs and opinions, thus involving a total repudiation of reason and logic, which are exactly the tools deployed to tell people that they are 100% rationally and logically wrong. Integral types are a disaster for the world. These people are grotesque anti-intellectuals doing everything in their power to undermine reason and logic. Hilariously, the supreme integral guru, Ken Wilber, says that he believes that reality is ultimately a non-dual union of emptiness and form, with form being innately subject to development over time, which is the position of Buddhism. So, Wilber is basically saying, contrary to the whole ideology of integral, that there is an absolute, objective truth. It's Buddhism, and everyone who is not a Buddhist is wrong. Their subjective beliefs and opinions are right only to the extent that they feature in developmentalism, i.e. the journey to the one and only truth of Buddhism. Of course, if their subjective beliefs and opinions are superseded, they must be regarded as explicitly false, or radically incomplete and partial, to the extent of being worthless. Moreover, if Buddhism is right, who needs integral? The answer exists without integral, and has no need of integral. The sole point of integral is to pretend that Buddhism, or Wilber's own take on Buddhism, is compatible with every other belief and opinion anyone has ever held, i.e. all beliefs and opinions are just Buddhist staging posts held by people who have not yet acknowledged the absolute, objective truth of Buddhism. All integral types love saying, everyone is right, as opposed to everyone is wrong except us. We rationalists absolutely commit ourselves to the latter position. There is one right answer to existence, the principle of sufficient reason, ontologically conveyed by mathematics, and infinite wrong answers, everything opposed to the PSR and thus to mathematics. Buddhism is one of the worst answers. In ontological mathematics, the criterion for assessing the falseness of a belief system is how far it departs from the PSR and mathematics. Science is the best non-mathematical system devised by humanity because it is the human subject that most uses mathematics and is most dependent on mathematics. Science is itself false because it is not mathematics, hence departs from the absolute, objective mathematical truth. Only ontological mathematics is inherently true. All integral types are love and light emotionalists who recoil from conflict and lack the guts and integrity to tell people they are definitely wrong, that their beliefs and opinions are definitely false. They are cowards and creeps. Their debating strategy is to say, "You're not wrong. You're right. Everyone is right. We're all right. But some people are more right than others, so why don't you become Buddhists like us and be more right than everyone else?" If they had any convictions at all, they would say what everyone else says: "We're right, this is the answer, and all other answers are wrong." But that's not a very loving thing to do, and these hippie dropouts are all about love and peace, man. All integral types are feeling types, with some emotional intuitives in their ranks. None of them are thinking types, or intellectual intuitives. They are sophists. We wouldn't even call them pseudo-rational. They aren't rational at all. They despise reason and logic and refuse to accept what reason and logic rationally and logical demand. These people are enemies of the truth and are an enormous drag on human progress. Rather than opposing Abrahamism and other false ideologies, they stand alongside them, saying that Abrahamists are right, partly. Abrahamists are not right in any way. They are totally wrong. Integral ideology is extremely close to the joke religion of Discordianism. Wikipedia says, the Principia Discordia holds three core principles, the anaristic and eristic principles representing order and disorder, and the notion that both are mere illusions. The following excerpt summarizes these principles. The anaristic principle is that of apparent order, the eristic principle is that of apparent disorder. Both order and disorder are man-made concepts and are artificial divisions of pure chaos, which is a level deeper than is the level of distinction-making. With our concept-making apparatus called the brain, we look at reality through the ideas about reality which our cultures give us. The ideas about reality are mistakenly labeled reality, and unenlightened people are forever perplexed by the fact that other people, especially other cultures, see reality differently. It is only the ideas about reality which differ. Real, capital T, true reality is a level deeper than is the level of concept. We look at the world through windows on which have been drawn grids, concepts. Different philosophies use different grids. A culture is a group of people with rather similar grids. Through a window we view chaos, and relate it to the points on our grid, and thereby understand it. The order is in the grid. That is the anaristic principle. Western philosophy is traditionally concerned with contrasting one grid with another grid, and amending grids in hopes of finding a perfect one that will account for all reality and will, hence, say unenlightened Westerners, be true. This is illusory. It is what we Arisians call the anaristic illusion. Some grids can be more useful than others, some more beautiful than others, some more pleasant than others, etc., but none can be more true than any other. Disorder is simply unrelated information viewed through some particular grid. But, like relation, no relation is a concept. Male, like female, is an idea about sex. To say that maleness is absence of femaleness, or vice versa, is a matter of definition and metaphysically arbitrary. The artificial concept of no relation is the eristic principle. The belief that order is true and disorder is false or somehow wrong, is the anaristic illusion. To say the same of disorder, is the eristic illusion. The point is that, little t, truth is a matter of definition relative to the grid one is using at the moment, and that, capital T, truth, metaphysical reality, is irrelevant to grids entirely. Pick a grid, and through it some chaos appears ordered and some appears disordered. Pick another grid, and the same chaos will appear differently ordered and disordered. This is integral in a nutshell, although integral then ridiculously adds the contradictory claim that Buddhist non-dualism is the absolute truth, despite all of the foregoing subjectivist, relativist, and chaotic beliefs and opinions. Of one thing you can be certain: reality is not based on chaos and has no connection at all to chaos. Reality is based on the exact opposite of chaos, the PSR, by which everything has an exact, ordered explanation, and by which chaos is a formal impossibility. Chaos is logically excluded in a system governed by the PSR. Chaos is that which has no reasons. Integral is motivated simply by feeling and the emotional ambition to try to avoid conflict by telling others that they're right, a bit, although, of course, the ultimate game of integral is to tell everyone they're wrong if they don't agree with integral, which of course falsifies the entire system. Tada. Logic and reason, you can't beat 'em. Wake up, dummies. Stop believing your own emotional bullshit. Grow a backbone. Fight for your system rather than disingenuously telling every wrong person they're right. Not even clowns like you are so stupid as to actually believe what you are preaching, which is exactly why you say that some truths are better than others. That's functionally identical to telling people that they are wrong, that they are alienated from the truth. There's nothing worse than people with no intellectual integrity, unwilling to stand up for the harsh truths of intellectualism, which have nothing at all to do with the human condition or human development. All the truths of reality existed before any humans did, so the human condition and human development are 100% irrelevant to the answer to existence. Integral, a totally anthropomorphic system, makes everything revolve around the human condition and human development. It could not be more wrong in its basic method and comprehension of reality. Only reason and logic can illuminate the path, and they lead directly to mathematics, the sole incontestable truth. Here's something never to forget: as soon as you try to give reasons for why the principle of sufficient reason is wrong, you have, by that very fact, showed that reason must be privileged over everything else, and thus you have proved that the PSR is right. It's literally impossible to rationally and logically argue against the PSR. All you can do is state your irrational and illogical faith and mystical beliefs and opinions. These are delusional and just bounce off the PSR. The PSR is the incontestable rational and logical truth of existence. It has no rivals. It's the one absolute answer to everything. It's the only thing that can possibly constitute an answer.